Welcome again for this week's Hebrew class, and of course we are on Yehuchanan, John 12 verses 5 to 9. So let us now begin. And the chart again from the Kud is up there, and also the useful resources, as we do each week. So let us go to the first verse, which we know is verse 5. And we see it's represented with a hey, which is the fifth letter of the alphabet. So let's just quickly go through the letters. Mem, Dalet, Vav, but we know it's an U sound because the dot there. Then we have an Ayin, Lamed, Aleph. Aleph is white because it's not pronounced. It's silent. Nun, Mem, Kaf, Resh, Hey, Hey, Mem, Resh, Kuf, Chet, Tav, Bayat, Shin, Lamed, Shin, Mem, Aleph, Vav, Tav, Dalet, Yod, Nun, and Resh. And that Vav, of course, is an O sound because of the dot. So now let us read that. Ma'dua. Ma'dua, meaning for what reason? In other words, why? Lo, not nimkera. Nimkera. Not was sold. Now if we look down here, we have makar. Makar is a kal verb to sell. And then we have ha mir kachat. Hamir kachat. Now if we look down here, it's rakach. Rakach, which is the three root letters here, is a kal verb to mix, to concoct, to cook up. But with the mem, it becomes like a noun with a hey and that, the concoction, or the mixture, or the ointment. And it is bishlosh, bishlosh, for three or in three. Because the bet is normally like in, but it can be with or for. And then we have ma'ot, which means 100. Dinar. Dinar, we know that's a form of currency. And the English says, why was the perfume not sold for 300 dinar? Right, if we look down, a dinar or a denarius was the wage of a day laborer. So we know that it was 300 times the wage of a day laborer, which was pretty expensive. Right, now let us go through that, reading it. Ma dua lo nim kera ha mir kachat bishlosh me'ot dinar. And part B now, which is a vav, a nun, a tav, a nun sofit, meaning a nun at the end of the word, lamed, ayin, nun, yod, and mem sofit. And it is v'nitan, and given, because it comes from natan, which is to give, right? La aniyim. Aniyim, to the poor. If we look down here, ani is an adjective meaning poor, lacking, wretched, destitute. And of course, it's got 300 denarii and given to the poor. Right, now quickly read that without any help. The nitan la'aniyim. So the I sounds like a long sound, yim. And moving to verse 6, which is represented with a vav, which is the sixth letter of the alphabet. And we have a vav, hey, vav, but it would sound aleph, lamed, aleph, dalet, bayat, resh, zayin, aleph, tav, mem, chet, mem, lamed, tav, vav, ayin, lamed, hey, ayin, nun, yod, mem, sofit, Kaf, Yod, Gimel, Nun, Vayet. It's without a dot, it's Vayet. Hey, Yod, Hey. And now let's read it. The who and he. Because who is he? Lo, not, diber, spoke. When it's diber, it means to speak. Zot, this. Me, chemlato. Me, chemlato. Now the mem is from, the o at the end is his, and then we've got chemlat. Well, in the singular form, chemla is a feminine noun for mercy, compassion, or pity. And then we've got also chamal, which is a kol verb, to have mercy on, to feel sorry for. And then we have al, can mean concerning or about. Ha'aniyim, the poor, concerning the poor. Ki for, ganav. Ganav means a thief. Haya, meaning he was. He did not say this out of compassion for the poor, but because he was a thief. So let's quickly read that. The who, lo, diber, zot, me, chem, lato, al, ha'anayim, aniyim, ki, ganav, haya. And now we have a vav, a kaf, a yod, a samek, hey, kaf, samek, fesofit, bet, yod, dalet, vav, nun, sim, because the dot's on that side, aleph, mem, aleph, shin, resh, yod, sim, yod, mem, vav, vayet, vav. And we have vakias, and the pouch. So let's have a look at kias. Is a masculine noun for pouch, pocket, or purse. Ha-kesef. Kesef meaning silver, the silver. Be-yado, which means be is in, and the o is his, and yad is hand. In his hand. V'nasa, and he lifted up. Or it's translated normally as took, right? But let's have a look. Nasa is a kol verb to carry, to bear, to lift. And it is me'asher, from which, yasimu, they did place, because sim means to put or place, right? So they did place, vo, in it. And then in the English, because the money purse was in his hand, and he took from what was placed into it. So he lifted out of it. He lifted out of it what was placed in it, we could say. And that helps us understand nasa, which is to lift. And reading the kis ha-kesef beyado v'nasa me'asher yasimu vo. All right. And now we're in 7, and it's represented by Zion. And then we have a vav, yod, aleph, mem, resh, yod, hey, vav, shin, ayin, hey, nun, yod, chet, hey, lamed, yod, vav, mem, safit, kuf, vayet, vav, resh, tav, yod, zade, fei, nun, hey, zion, aleph, and tav. So by going through the letters, we just find very familiarity with them, so we don't have to think. So now we go, Vayomer, and he said, because where there's no pronoun, it means he. Yahushua, which is who's saying it. Ha-ne-he, cha, la. Hanechala. Leave alone her. So this is like to her or her. So let's just have a look at that word. Heniach is the verb to leave alone, to desist. So that's how we get that, all right? And it is layom, meaning for the day, because yom is the day, right? Kevurati. So, where do we get that from? Firstly, the pronoun here is me or my, and that's how we get that. Could be I, but in the context, my burial, right? If we look down here, kavar is a kal verb to bury, to entomb. Kavur is an adjective used for buried or entombed. Kever is a masculine noun for tomb or grave. So they're all related, right? So therefore, of my burial, for the day of my burial, he's saying, my being the I at the yod at the end. And then we have zafna. She has hidden. So what does zafan mean? It's a kal verb to hide, to conceal. So she has hidden. And the she is a hey at the end. Tells us it's feminine. So she is hidden. And zot, this. Yeshua said, leave her alone. She has concealed this for the day of my burial. And now we can read it. Vayomer Yahushua hanecha la leyom kevurati zafna zot. All right. And we're in 8 now, which is represented with chet, because it's the 8th letter of the alphabet. And we have a kaf, yod, hey, ayin, nun, yod, mem, sofit, tav, mem, yod, dalet, ayin, mem, kaf, mem, sofit, vav, aleph, nun, yod, aleph, yod, nun, yod, taf, mem, yod, dalet, ayin, mem, kaf, and mem, sofit. And we go ki, which means for. Ha, aniyim, for the poor, and it's also plural. Tamid, always. So, tamid, let's have a look. Tamid, adjective, means always, constantly, every time. But interestingly, as a masculine noun, it refers to the daily offering. And that's from the Talmudic understanding, the daily offering. So when we see it as a daily offering, we'll see tamid offering. And then we have imakem, with you. So im can be with, and kem is you. With you, but it's plural, right? Kem is plural. Va'ani, and I am ni, not I. And I am not I. Tamid again, always. Imakem, again meaning with you in the plural. For the poor shall always be with you, but I shall not always be with you. Right, now let's read that. And it is ki ha aniyim tamid imakem va'ani eineni tamid imakem. And we're into 9 now, and it's represented with a tet. And the tet has a value of 9 because it's the 9th letter of the alphabet. And then we have vav yod shin mem ayin vav ayin mem safit resh vayet bayet yod Hey Vav Dalet Hey Kaf Yod Hey Vav Aleph Shin Mem Safid Vav Yod Vayet Aleph Vav Lamed Aleph Vayet Ayin Vayet Vav and Resh. Now let's read that. Vayishmeu. Vayishma'u. And they heard. Right? We know it's Shema, and they heard or they listened. Or Rav. Meaning people, and Rav meaning many, many or great, much. Be Yehuda, in Yehuda, in Judea, right? Oh, so yeah, in Yehuda. That's what it says. Key for who he, sham there, vayavo'u, and they came, lo, va'avur. Va'avur, it can be on account, or in account, right? But it's on account, not on account. So in the English, many people of the Jews heard that he was there. They came not on the account, and of course I've got ba'avur, which is a preposition on behalf of, on account of, or for. And interestingly, avar can, as a kol verb, can actually mean to pass, to cross, to go over. But in this case, it's a preposition meaning on behalf of. So, now let us read that. Vayishmeu Rav bi Yehuda ki hu sham vayavo'u lo va'avur. And we turn to part B, which is a Yod, a He, a Vav, a Shin, an Ayin. Lamed, Vayet, Dalet, Vav, Kaf, Yod, Gimel, Mem Safit, Lamed, Resh, Ayin, Aleph, Vav, Tav, Aleph, Lamed, Ayin, Zadi, Resh, Aleph, Shin, Resh, He, Ayin, Yod, Resh, and Vav. So let's read it. Yahushua. And without vowel points, many use it as Yahusha. Levado, him alone. So the Vav at the end, the O, is like him. And so what's levad? And levad is an adjective which means alone, by oneself, apart from. So not Yahushua, him alone. Ki, which can be for or because. Here I've got but. Gum, also. Lirot, to see. For also to see. Et, grammar marker, Elazar, which we often see as Lazarus. Asher, whom, He'iro, he woke up. So how do we possibly get that? First, let's see, ki is a conjunction that can mean because, for, that, but, although. And now we come to he'ir, which as a verb, it means to wake someone up, but not to be confused with ir, which is a feminine noun for city, town, metropolis. So it just shows you context and the letters around it and how the vowel markings are. They determine exactly what it is. So we have to understand whether it's a noun, verb, adjective, whether the vowel marking tells us whether it's a verb or whether it's a noun. We just got to get used to that. So from the English, it's not on account of Yeshua only, but also to see Lazarus, whom he raised. That's how the English puts it. And now we read it. Yahushua levado ki gam lirot et Elazar asher he'iro. Right, and we move to now part C, where we've got a mem, an ayin, a mem safit, and a hey, and a mem, and a tav, a yod, and a mem safit. So we got me'im, from with. Now often you just say it as from, but I'm giving you the complete meaning of each part of it. Im can mean with. So from with, ha me tim, the dead. And because it's got the im at the end, it's plural dead. Whom he raised from the dead. And down here I've got met is an adjective or noun meaning dead, lifeless, deceased, or corpse. All right, quickly read that. Me'im. Ha-me-tim. Right, now we come to see whether we remembered that or whether we're becoming familiar with the translations. And so let us read that. And it is ma-dua. For what reason? Lo, not, nimkera was sold, not was sold, ha-mir kachat, meaning the concoction or the ointment, bish-losh, with 3 or in 3, me'ot, 100, dinar, a daily wage. Right. For what reason not was sold the concoction or the ointment, the perfume, for 300 dinar. Being an ointment, a beautiful smelling ointment that probably has like herbs or something in the concoction, in the mixture, it's expensive. But rather than perfume, which we think of as being other things, it's oil, literally oil and ointment. And then we have v'nitan, and given, la'aniyim, to the poor, and given to the poor. And then we have a vav, which has a value of 6, and it is vahu, and he, lo, not, diber, spoke, zot, this, mechem, lato, from his compassion, al, concerning, ha, anayim, the poor, ki, for, ganav, a thief, haya, he was. And the translation, and he not spoke this from his compassion concerning the poor, for a thief he was. And now we get the kias, meaning and the pouch or the purse, ha-kesef, of the silver, be-yado, was in his hand, the nasa, and he lifted up or pilfered, me'a share, from which yasimu, they did put or place, vo, in it, and the pouch of the silver in his hand, and he lifted or took, from which they did place in it. And then we have a zayin, which has a value of 7. So we're in verse 7, and it is Vayomer, and he said, Yahushua, Hanecha. Hanecha la. Hanecha meaning leave alone, la her. Or leave alone for her. La yom, for the day, kevurati, of my burial. Zafna, she has hidden. Zot, this. So, and he said, Yahushua, leave alone her. I'm doing it that way because we want to get each word translated. Leave alone her. Le yom, for the day, kavura, of my burial, she has hidden this. And then we have a chet, which is a value of 8. Ki, for. Ha, aniyim, the poor. Tamid, meaning continually or always. Imakem, meaning with you, plural. Va'ani, and I am. Eneni, not I. Tamid, always. Imakem, with you. And there we have it. For the poor, being plural, always with you, are always with you. And I am not I, always with you. Right, next. And we have a tet, meaning 9. It's the 9th letter of the alphabet. Va yish ma'u, and they heard. Rav, which is people, many people. Be Yehuda, in Yehuda. Ki, that, who, he, Sham, was there, you could say. Va yavo'u, and they came. Because bo means come, but with a vav and a yod, it makes it a completed action. And they came, lo, not, va'avur, on account, on behalf of, in other words. And they heard many people in Yehuda that he was there, in other words, and they came not on account. And then we have Yahushua, levado, him alone, ki, for, gam, also, lirot, to see, et, grammar marker, Elazar, Lazarus, Asher, whom, he'iro, he woke up. Yahushua, him alone, but, or for, also to see, grammar marker Elazar, whom he woke up. Me'im, meaning from with, ha metim, meaning the dead, from with the dead. And that brings us to the end of 9. And of course we have our vowel marking chart just to remind us, because we need to understand them very well. We need to know that that's called a cholam, and it's the O sound, as we say in the word, cho. So that's the sound we get. This is a sheva, which is not so much a sound, but it can be silent or it can be vocal, and then it's a short E sound, she. But often it's just shva. And this one is a segol, se meaning a short E sound, e. And this is a zere, zere. So often represented as an EI is often how they place it in the transliteration. But I like to keep it as an E, but a longer E. So it's Zere. And this is called a Petach. Pa, short, and a Kamatz, which as you can hear is a longer A sound. Ka. Right, that will do. And the final one is that we see the value of the letters, which is we're up to 5 to 9, so we see it's a Hey 5, Vav 6, Zion 7, Chet 8, and Tet 9. Let us not forget that Zade is 90, Fei, they have Pev, but we normally call it Pei or Fei, being 80, Ayin 70, Samek 60, Nun 50, Mem 40. And I have again the useful resources, which are very beneficial when you're looking up words. You need to do it in Hebrew dictionary to get a complete meaning of the word. And this source is great because it gives you the Hebrew, gives you the ancient Hebrew, gives you modern Hebrew, it gives you transliteration, gives you color codes, gives you the English. So it's a great source in your practice. And I just pray you're blessed by going through these lessons, and with time, with patience, and with constant practice, not too much at once, a few verses, you will gradually begin to remember things and you'll be blessed by it, giving us better understanding of what truly the Hebrew is saying. And so we like to thank you for joining us. And we wish you a Shavua Tov, which means a good 7 or a good week. Amen.